Finally we have a Mandalorian team-up, and it is glorious. We are one episode away from the season finale, and things are getting hot. Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. This week is about Mandalorian Chapter 23, The Spies. After last week's side quest, this episode is pure plot and has all the feels. Let's break it down. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. This episode's title alludes to trouble for our Mandalorians. Who are the spies? We also see the return of major villain Moff Gideon, and he is looking fine. For a guy who was supposed to be dead, Moff Gideon has been busy. It is revealed early on that Elia Kane is working on Coruscant undercover for Moff Gideon and was responsible for the pirates on Navarro. Moff Gideon is upset that the Mandalorians thwarted his evil plans again and decides to do something about them once and for all. The first purge didn't get rid of them, so maybe a second one will. He goes to the Shadow Council to ask for help. There's this epic cinematic shot of Gideon strutting down a spooky hallway. I have to hand it to the Empire, New Empire, or Shadow Council, whatever they're calling themselves. They have nailed the dark and brooding interior design. We see stormtroopers that resemble the Phase 2 clone troopers from the prequel trilogy. We can see vats and tubes of cloning material from other seasons as well. The Shadow Council, which is a fabulous name, is trying to overthrow the New Republic. The other Imperial loyalists masquerading as warlords have gathered. Moff Gideon criticizes Pelion for waiting for Thrawn to return and Hux for focusing on Project Necromancer, his cloning work. Gideon tells them that they need to deal with the Mandalorians. Hux asks about Dr. Pershing and his research, but Moff Gideon says his work is lost, for now. Thrawn and thereby Palpatine are both alluded to, which if you watch the new Ahsoka trailer or any of the TV show Rebels, this is no surprise. Pelion previously appeared in the final episode of Star Wars Rebels, and is more notably from the Thrawn novels where he serves as Thrawn's second-in-command. Brian Gleason, who plays Brendol Hux, is the brother of Domhnall Gleeson, who played General Hux. To deal with the Mandalorian problem, Gideon requests Praetorian Guards, which will feature later in the sequel trilogy as Snook's elite guards. They are similar to the Imperial Guards that protected Emperor Palpatine. The Shadow Council then chants, "Long live the Empire!"
Long live the Empire!
Long live the Empire!
Let's see if they have it in them to take on the Mandalorians. Meanwhile, on Navarro, the Mandalorians have returned with their fleet. The citizens are concerned at first since the fleet has an old Imperial light cruiser, but Karga points out the huge logo on the bottom. Nothing to worry about. Bo-Katan is worried, though, about the meeting since the two groups don't like each other. Din Djarin thinks they will come together because they all want to survive. Din Djarin goes with Karga to see his gift, which is a IG-12 suit for Grogu. Grogu can sit inside the droid and control it, and it also has a yes and no button. Din Djarin thinks Grogu is too young, but Grogu loves it and struts around while pounding the yes, yes, yes button. In the market, Grogu takes things from a merchant's booth without paying. Jin is not a fan of this behavior the suit encourages. Bo-Katan makes a speech about how they need to retake Mandalore. She wants to take a small recon group down to the surface, while the others stay in orbit above the planet. Din and Grogu volunteer, as well as Koshka Reeves, Axe Wolves, Paz Vizsla, the Armor, and others from both tribes. They leave Navarro and go to Mandalore. Bo-Katan takes a scouting party to the surface, heading for the Forge. A land ship appears on the horizon, and it turns out to be the other surviving Mandalorians. They share a meal together, and Bo-Katan tells them that she surrendered after the Night of 1,000 Tears to try and save the people who were left. Moff Gideon betrayed that agreement and purged Mandalore. The survivors ask if the others are Death Watch, but the Armorer tells them that Death Watch is gone due to infighting and factions. However, this does clear up where the Children of the Watch came from and if they are connected to this cult. The Armorer takes the gauntlet back to the fleet, bringing with her the sick Mandalorians. It's ominous, and even before she breaks the atmosphere, I knew something was wrong. This was confirmed when the Imperial Guard answered her hail. I really hope she wasn't in on the trap because I like her. The rest of the Mandalorians are attacked by a giant creature that erupted from the rocks. They flee underground and find the old forge. It's an emotional moment that only lasts seconds when they are attacked by stormtroopers. A battle breaks out, and one of the Mandalorians manages to escape to get help. The rest hold back the attack, but then are cornered by Moff Gideon. They capture and disarm Din Djarin, and Gideon delivers his evil monologue and whisks Din Djarin away for interrogation. Then he orders his troopers to slaughter the rest of the Mandalorians. The Mandalorians open fire on the stormtroopers as Bo-Katan cuts her way through the blaster door and ushers out the Mandalorians. Paz Vizsla stays to keep the troopers at bay. It was a brilliant moment of sacrifice and commitment to the Mandalorian mission. He went down like a hero. He was outnumbered, and even after his gun melted, he managed to take out the stormtroopers. Unfortunately, the Praetorian guards finish him off. It's not confirmed that he's dead, but if he survives this, I will be impressed. This episode stitched together all the threads of the season so far and is ramping up to connect the end of The Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens and the eventual rise of the New Order and return of Palpatine. There's only one episode left, and I feel like it's going to be packed with emotion, action, and plot. If you liked this episode, hit the like button and see you next time. This is The Way.